not to get too political, but the people who talk the most about intolerance sometimes aren't tolerant of other people. But tolerate doesn't mean encourage and we love it and we want more of it. It just means you tolerate. You tolerate a baby crying on an airplane.
All right, episode 77 of the Stand Firm podcast. I am Quintin.
I'm Wyatt.
I am Quintin.
You can't do it again just to point at me.
It took me so long because I had to click onto my thing and I was trying to hold out the... It was awkward.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for messing it up.
Gosh.
Wyatt, that shirt looks familiar.
I don't know. I like your strong shirt. You wear it a lot.
I know. I think I wore it last week.
I think you did. Dude.
Break the fourth wall.
We don't have a fourth wall to break. I don't want to break one of these walls. Mom gets mad.
I already broke a third wall. If I break the fourth, she's going to be mad.
Now she knows I'm doing it on purpose.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Do you like the Bigfoot AI vlogs more than the Yeti AI vlogs? Which one, Bigfoot or Yeti?
Okay, here's my elaboration
or the grizzly bear.
on
I've
this.
started seeing grizzly bear. I'm seeing them all over the place.
Here's my elaboration on this. So...
I'm seeing some hilarious ones.
I like the Bigfoot ones, but there's a wholesome Bigfoot and there's a not so wholesome Bigfoot. Have you seen that one?
I've not seen either of those.
There's a Bigfoot. His name's not like wholesome Bigfoot, but he's more wholesome. He's more just like Midwestern-y sounding. The other one's always like cussing and he's like, me and my boy just got effed up, and those are funny too. But I'm saying,
I might have seen that one.
I like the really ones where he's like, all right, guys, I'm gonna give you and he gives you like real life wilderness tips and.
Oh, that's fun.
I love those.
I need to watch.
I like those ones better, and I like the Yeti too. But I've just seen more Bigfoot, so I gotta go Bigfoot.
I'm seeing a lot of Yetis because I get the funniest one I liked was he's like. He's going around his igloo. It's like, man, these things can last for like years. Let that sink in. And there's a guy walking with his sink behind it. And
That's
he
funny.
Points and laughs at it. Gosh, I love stupid memes like that.
I love
let that sink in.
I love to let that sink in.
Dude,
it's like
that's hilarious. Yeah, it's like the sink standing on the porch, man. Let him in.
Let that sink in. That's funny.
Yeah. Dude, I'm seeing those all over the place.
I am
the
too.
AI, and it's always AI, Sasquatch,
Yeah.
Yeti. I've started to see a grizzly bear.
Have you seen the AI Bible characters?
Yes, I have. Those do look really cool.
Yeah.
They take scenes from the Bible and turn them into I think ChatGPT or some AI, and it makes these really cool high quality pictures.
Yes.
Dude, it's cool, the stuff like the pillar of fire.
Well, have you seen them where they make the Bible characters come it's David walking around like he's vlogging killing Goliath?
I've not seen those.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're cool.
Nice,
so he's like,
man.
yeah, I just went to give my brothers food. Treated me like crap, by the way. And then he was like, guess I'm gonna go try to fight this big giant. And it's just cool. But
I thought Bigfoot in the snow is a Yeti.
Yeah. Oh, and as far as the same thing on that.
Yeah, basically, because they're the same species. It's like a polar bear versus a grizzly bear.
Yes, I think they're like the same thing. I think the Bigfoot is just more in the woods, and the Yeti is when I think Bigfoot, I think like PNW, like more Pacific Northwest, and when I think Yeti, I think more like
you just rattled off that acronym, and I just what?
Yeah, brother, the PNW.
The Pacific Northwest. Yeah, but that's what I correlate it to is like grizzly bear versus polar bear. Like,
pretty much same diff, but polar bears are way meaner. So maybe the Yeti's meaner.
Maybe. Gosh, now I've got to dive down that rabbit hole. I need to figure out Yeti lore now.
Well, I guarantee you there's lore behind it.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Now you've actually got me
interested in it. Yeah,
I need to now.
Yep, we will.
I love looking into countries like folklore and myths.
Oh yeah,
I like recently because I love some Irish stuff. Them are cool, but looking into Japanese with their spirits and
their spirits ones. Those are kind of in how they view their ancestors and
it's interesting,
Yeah.
But
It's definitely cool. America just doesn't have any because it's not been around long enough.
Well, we've got some cool ones. We got like the Skinwalker.
Don't mention that.
What?
Emma freaks out about him.
You guys are going to Appalachia, right?
You can't.
Are you guys going to walk around the Appalachian Trail at night? You guys going to hear babies cry? Just walk off the path?
You can't say the name. The name's how they know.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. You should know the lore of them.
This is like the SpongeBob and Squidward episode. Don't do it! Don't!
No. They don't bother me. I give her a hard time for it, but I try to respect her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what do you call them then? The Wendigo?
No, she just says...
Is that worse?
No, she just says, you know the things.
You know the walker.
Yeah. Well, we are going to be... So, that was one funny thing. So, one of the places...
Wait a minute. Are we cutting any of this out? Or?
No, I was keeping that in.
Okay.
And one of the things that were proposed to us when we went to Appalachia was stay at the homestead up in the Appalachian Mountains in a tent.
Yes! You got to do it. I seriously want to go... Not obviously hiking and stuff through that, but I do want to... I want to see if some of the myths are true, like how often you hear just a baby crying when it's dark and stuff like that. Because, not to bring the podcast down or nothing, but I've seen a lot of the missing people. They correlate with a lot of the cave systems, especially in the Appalachians.
You're freaking her out. Now she's not even going to go. You still want to go? Now she's not even going to go, Wyatt.
Sorry! Take some more guns with you or something. I don't know.
No, we won't be. We'll be up there during the day and whatnot. It won't be a big deal.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like anywhere at night, too, though. I mean, I wouldn't want to walk around New York City at midnight or 1 a.m. Or even like Columbus. You know, it's not good to be out in the dark.
Yeah. No, I think... Yeah, at night. I mean, I've heard some sketchy things about Appalachia. I mean, my grandpa grew up there, though, so he's still alive. His massive family's still around, so...
Hey, man. If none of them got...
And I never heard him say anything about, there being... I never really asked him. Man, I wish I would have asked him.
Dude, I found it was out in Brown County. There was a guy who swore up and down he saw Bigfoot. This guy was a Bigfoot guy. Yeah, he was...
There's no way.
Dude, I don't know.
I'm just going to flat call it. There's no way.
Dude, I don't know. I just don't know. I personally don't believe it. No. But yeah, he was saying some weird stuff. Like he built this little rock. I don't know if it was an altar or not, but a little rock tower. Yeah. Rocks descending up. Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, he swore he heard noises and something that didn't sound like anything because he kept saying, I've heard coyotes, I've heard bobcats and stuff. This didn't sound like any of it.
I don't think if Bigfoot's real, man. I mean, if Bigfoot's real,
how have they not found him?
He ain't gonna be in Brown County.
Exactly.
And okay, so here's the thing: if this was like a sea creature, I think there's sea creatures that maybe we haven't discovered because the ocean's 100%. So big and we've not even scratched the surface of it. But we've been about everywhere in the woods. We've been everywhere on land.
Yeah, land is pretty well done. Dude, it freaks me out sometimes because I like seeing those thalassophobia videos. Have you seen them? Fear of the ocean.
Yes.
Oh, man, those get me. I love the ocean. But I do admit, I mean, if I get out and I can't see shore, this terrifies me.
It scares me. You see the videos of these boats out there on the water and the pitch black.
Oh yeah, and there's no light.
There's nothing. I mean, It's scary, man. The ocean is a scary place. I love the song, and this is on a lake. I know, the Edmund Fitzgerald, because you just think of, it.
I think I've heard it. It sounds very familiar.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, it's about this boat, this I think it's about it says it all in the song and whatever, but it's a ship on the lake that ends up wrecking, Mm-hmm. But that's a lake.
Oh yeah.
That's a lake. Think the ocean.
Dude, that's one of the scariest feelings, and I cannot stand it at all, is when I'm in especially the ocean, because I know it's connected to the big ocean.
Oh, yeah.
When I can't see the bottom or feel the bottom or anything like that, it was very scary. We did it at Key Largo. They called it the Quarry, and it was contained, so it was not really, but it was connected, I think, via a river to the cut. So there's a cut that goes through Key Largo. It's a big river, right, that goes through it. It was connected by just a small river, but it was this, 50 yard by 50 yard, basically square, and it had a little sunken, they called it the sunken hotel. It's like a little room.
Yeah.
Stuff. It was to train people on how to snorkel and stuff. So that's what we used to train. But it was like probably about 60.
Oh.
Well, no. Maybe like 20 yards deep. 20 yards, though, so 60 feet. It was very scary because we did do it in the dark. We did it towards the night. That was the night swim. It's like, oh, this sucks. It was very, it was actually like terrifying.
I don't know if I'd want to do that.
I had to test the boundaries. It was only okay because I knew I wasn't in the ocean. But yeah, you tried to get down to the bottom, and it was very hard. Very hard to get to the bottom, and you were like kicking and going.
Well, I'm saying it would
be
scary to go down to the bottom.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there were lobsters in there on it, and they hide on the sides, so you had eyes looking at you. It was terrifying.
No
Just
way.
don't get near the edges. But yeah, we swimming, and you see two little eyes. It's like,
No
we're getting out of here.
They pinch you?
No. Well, just don't get near them.
But if you did, would they pinch you?
Yeah, they would. But they're very scared. We're giant animals. They think they're going to get eaten.
Yeah, that... so when did you go snorkeling in the actual ocean?
Oh, that was... we did that 3 days. 3 days, I think. 4 times we did that, and we did a night swim.
In the ocean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went in the Gulf and in the Pacific.
Was that scary?
No, it was in the day, and you could see the bottom.
You said you did night swims in the oceon.
No. It wasn't a night swim in the ocean. It was a night swim in the quarry.
Okay.
That was the night swim.
Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken. Yeah. But,
yeah. Water scares me. Even pools. Even, like, deep pools.
Really?
Like, I'm talking, like, deep. Like, I'm talking, like, the whale exhibit at the zoo. Like that big body of water.
Yeah.
Kind of terrifies me. Massive open body of water like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or the pools they use to train like deep divers that are like 100 feet deep or something insane. Mm-hmm. And those look terrifying.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it, but I do love the water though. So yeah. Ironically.
I do too. I like to swim and stuff, but not in deep water.
Yeah. Nope. I got a game for you to try though. A video game.
What's that?
Oh, man, dude, you're in an ocean planet.
I've heard of it.
It is terrifying.
Is it really scary?
Yeah. If you go out at night, oh yeah, because they've got big leviathans there. That will attack your ships.
Isn't it like a childish game, like a cartoon game?
It's somewhat cartoonish, yeah.
Not childish, but like cartoonish.
Yeah, cartoonish graphics or something. It's not like super realistic, but no, it's rather scary.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, dude, you got to go into a lot of underwater caves because basically the goal is to get to basically the bottom of the map. That's where you kind of beat the game. So it's all about getting deeper and deeper. So you're going into underwater caves.
Is it a long game?
It can be, yeah. Huh. It's not a bad one. You should try it.
I'll check it out. Hey, stand firm. I want to interrupt the podcast real quick. Coming to you from my hotel room. All of its glory. There's my fan right there. I cannot sleep without it. If you've never slept with a fan before, don't, because it becomes a vice that you can never break away from. Anyways, I want to quickly interrupt today's podcast with a quick announcement again on the How to Be a Man conference. I've already talked about it before. I want to talk about it just a little bit again. Look, right now, I want you to stop what you're doing. Stop listening to the podcast for just a second. Stop what you're doing. Head to your phone, laptop, tablet, whatever smart device you have. Go to hopewesleyanchurch.com. That's hopewesleyanchurch.com. That's our website. You head right there. There's going to be a big blue banner that's going to talk about this conference. And what I want you to do is I want you to go in there. I want you to sign yourself up and sign a couple buddies up. All right? And I want you guys to get yourself registered for this How to Be a Man conference. It's August 16th. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., okay? Don't worry about it. We've got your breakfast covered, your lunch covered. We're going to have 3 amazing speakers there, and we're going to have great music as well, okay? So definitely come, check it out. This is going to be a great time you're not going to be sitting and just listening to a message the whole time either. So if you're like, that's not quite my deal, Don't worry, we're going to be having breakout sessions. So there's going to be time for open conversation, learning. I'm super, super excited for it, okay? So, again, that's hopewesleyanchurch.com. Head over there right now. Sign up real quick. The more people you sign up, the cheaper it is per person, too. Okay, so there's a little bit of incentive to bring everybody. Anyways, I'm going to get back to vacation, and everybody enjoy the rest of the episode. All right, peace.
All right, dude, I think you got some topics.
Yes. So, we haven't done one of these in a little bit, but there's a lot going on in the world right now.
A lot.
As we talked about last week. And we thought maybe this week would be good to do a bit of like a kind of a pop culture, just pop culture is popular. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just a culture episode on what's going on around the world, but a lot of this is what's here in the U.S., specifically, things like the riots going on in L.A. and the American Pope or the new Pope who is American.
Who happens to be American.
And, some of the things that go on, and in these episodes they tend to be more taboo just because that's where our culture is at right now. But we're not here to give like a political opinion.
No.
My political opinion on these matters are irrelevant.
Just trying to give the Christian perspective.
Yeah, as best as we can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if it's something you disagree with, come back for episode 78.
That's right.
Sorry.
Click the skip.
First one I'm going to lob to you, Wyatt.
This is great. He's going to choose the hardest one.
No, not really. But no, just talking about these things going on in L.A., these protests, we'll say protests and riots and things going on in L.A. How can we take these and how can we handle this? Like, how can we look at this?
Yeah, I just personally I look at it unfavorably because I don't feel like throwing any kind of I don't want to dumb it down or something, but essentially a tantrum, right? You don't want to cause damage. You know what I mean? You cause damage, do all of these things. Well, if you aren't going to do this for me, I'm going to do all this to you, right? Until you give me what I want.
Well, exactly, and that's
I don't feel that's not fruitful. That's not a way to go about getting what you want.
It's not a way to go about anything. Well, do not overcome evil with evil. You see that in Romans. Mm-hmm. It's counterintuitive to return the favor.
Yes.
We feel like we're being mistreated and feel like we're being treated poorly. And okay, if that's how you feel, then probably the worst way to go about it is to just completely turn the fist and smack them back.
Exactly.
And again, from a Christian standpoint, we should not be feeling mistreated and then turn around and demolish a city.
Exactly. No, that's eye for eye. I feel you've treated me bad, so I'm going to treat you as bad as I feel until
because then what's the
end?
What's the conclusion? You continue down this rabbit hole of
it's a game of chicken. Who's going to one up the other? Well, that'd be the same as between me and you, Quintin. If you or if I perceive you as being snippy in conversations, and I start being a little bit more snippy back, and maybe call you a name. Yeah. And then, you think it's like, I'm just talking to you. I'm just being me. I'm talking how I talk. And now you're going to be a jerk to me. I'm going to say this to you.
Yeah.
And to try and get you to stop. And it's just going to keep one-upping until something really bad happens. And especially, how much worse is it going to be on a scale that, there are fires, right? Cars are burning.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and play a game with that. A chicken game with that. That's
now,
the wrong answer.
Well, and now we're
that's
at a point. Now, we're at a point where, and let me pull this up. So this is, I believe, we're at a point where, yes, we've got around 4,000 National Guard, and 700 Marines are now there in L.A.
Yeah,
and that's not a good situation to have your military deployed in your own country. You don't want that kind of distress, and as Christians, we should be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger.
Slow to anger.
Exactly.
They are very quick to anger.
Yeah, I mean, in this situation, you're acting quick to anger, and I understand it's easy to react politically. I do it. You do it. Like, on both sides of the ball, both sides of the coin, both sides are equally terrible at reacting politically and getting politically frustrated. And, your guy does this. Well, your guy does this. And we're listen.
Social people. We're used to, this is my team, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I think the best thing to do is pray over a situation, think your responses. Again, like it says, like I said in James, be quick to hear and then slow to speak and slow to anger. Like, don't just be listening. This is part of an issue with people. It's like you're talking, and immediately as you're done talking, they're on their next point. Yeah. It's like you didn't even listen to a word I said. Yeah. You were just waiting for a chance to talk. And that's something I've had to work on personally, is doing that too to people. But I should want to listen and hear you and be slow to condemn you and, and in a voice of understanding. That's for both sides. People that are so violently frustrated at these. Okay, I'm going to say something here. People that are so violently frustrated at these people that have entered this country illegally. Is it wrong? Yes, it's illegal. It's illegal.
Yeah.
But we should also understand the people they are, the stories, and yes, I think that the law should have its effect.
Oh, yeah.
These people, I think you come into a country illegally, just as it is in America, in any other country, you're going to get sent back home.
Yeah.
That's the law.
Yep.
Anything else, if I go commit a crime, I'm going to face the consequences of that. But also, there's no point in becoming so viscerally angry at these people that are in this country illegally. Again, that point turns back on. Oh, it's on both sides. Be slow to speak and be quick to hear these people, and know that these are humans too. And while yes, I'm not saying that the law should not apply to them, I am in no way saying that. But what I am saying is that we should also understand what they've been through and the things that are going on. And I make that point, and I'm sure somebody could use it and throw it back in my face, and so in both sides of the ball. But that's genuinely how I feel in the situation. Is like, these are human beings too. And while I agree with certain things, I also think that these are humans, and you should be treated as such.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe that's a bad point.
Well, I think you are right in that's something that the Bible teaches is blind justice. It's that we don't show favoritism. You don't show favoritism to the rich guy because he's going to pay you. You don't show favoritism to the poor guy because he can't pay you, right? Or either way. So we shouldn't be having favoritism and things like that. Absolutely, we should be hearing these people and listening to them. But at the same time, a sob story doesn't cover up the wrong that you do, right? If I punch you in the face and then cry, well, I still hit you in the face, man. There still needs to be some kind of, some punishment or some kind of corrective action that needs to be taken by either party. And so, I think partially with that, but also I like what you said about the getting so invested in your team is it basically becomes a witch hunt. And it kind of becomes a witch hunt. Well, they broke the law. It's like, yeah, but you kind of hate these people too, right? We should respond in love, even though we're carrying out the rules, right? Because that's what laws are. It's the rules of this part of the world. If you're on this land, these are the rules we play by. And just like everywhere else too. I mean, you can't break the rules and expect nothing to happen or for them to go easy on you just because, you have a sadder story than most. Yeah. And that sucks. But again, just two wrongs don't make a right. Yeah. People with a lot of these, they've had terrible things happen to them. Or they're fleeing terrible things that could possibly happen to them. Yeah. And yes, but again, two wrongs don't make a right. If somebody has done wrong to you or might do wrong to you, you need to do your best to get away from that and to get out of that. But you don't do wrong to get out of that,
to get right. Or to make a right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's my point. And I'm not, and yes, I'm not saying that just because you have a sob story, it's okay to break the law.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what I am saying is that, while yes, the rules must be carried out, and they should be, it's not our job to get so angry at these people and to hate them and to spew hate at them and just as and I'm going to say this too, just as somebody who would do some awful crime directly to you. I know me and Emma were at this conference and this guy was speaking, and these two men murdered his wife. His pregnant wife murdered, and obviously the baby in her stomach and in her womb. And, of course, first reaction is, I want those people dead. I want them to suffer. I want them to burn. I want them to... And he's like, you know what? I hope these people find salvation, and I hope they're in heaven. Because if they're not, then Satan wins.
Yeah.
And to take that's so hard.
That is the ultimate.
And to stand by. But that's where we should be too. And so, yes, I know that some of these people have done terrible things. But we should never want to see people suffer. We want, of course, the law to as long as it's moral and just, we want it to take its course. But also, we want to understand that these are human beings. We should show love, and that's something I personally am working on. Is people that are on an opposing stance as you, that have opposing views, not getting viscerally angry and upset and like, you know what, just you're wrong, you're dumb, or whatever it may be that you want to throw back at them, is to know that they're humans. Whatever they do should, yes, follow the course of consequences, and doesn't mean you're void of consequences, but to understand they're people, and that, well, we shouldn't be looking for a side. We should be looking to lead people to Christ. We shouldn't be looking for a right or left or red or blue or whatever it may be. We're looking to lead people to Christ.
Yeah.
And by me standing so firm in my political convictions that I lead you away from Christ, what good am I doing? Now, I'm not saying be soft on your stances and don't stand for what's right.
You can uphold the law while still loving people, right? Yeah. And that's what, how you talked about, is not being viscerally angry at somebody because they choose to live their life a different way or choose, or vote a different way, things like that, because you can still love someone without having to agree with everything they do.
Yeah.
Right? You can still be compassionate towards someone who thinks and votes completely different than you, right?
And I don't
thinks
know.
of money different than you. You can still love them. Just because I love you and wish the best for you doesn't mean I agree with what you're doing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know why this has become so like it's. I feel like it's just recently that if you have an opposing political, I can't even be friends with you.
Yeah, it's like an all or nothing.
Yes.
Like we are the same person. We agree on everything, or I hate you and you're gonna die.
Yes,
it's crazy,
and it is terrible, and it's become so hostile. To feel like I can't even. You feel like I got to walk on eggshells with whatever you say.
Exactly. You can't express any opinions.
Yeah.
You can't, and that's, we can't express any real opinions, and I think that's a really bad thing because that closes us off to the important conversations, the most important conversations that you need, right?
Yeah.
When you can't talk about the hard things or the heavy things that are close to the heart and still love each other afterwards, well, then you can't have those conversations. Then I think you drift further and further apart from each other. Yeah, and you, without any way of communicating, I just feel like people drift further apart from each other, and you can't even see their side of the fence because you've never even tried to understand their viewpoint.
Yeah. I agree.
I think you can understand their viewpoint and still disagree with it, obviously.
And people lose their jobs over political views, and it's crazy. And and I get if you're, at work and you're spewing hatred, and I understand that you can't be doing that. And people post things on their independent social medias about something political and lose their jobs, and it's like that's just flat wrong.
It is. It totally is, and it's wrong, especially for the people. Well, it's for the intolerant people. Which, not to get too political, but the people who talk the most about intolerance sometimes aren't tolerant of other people. That we should be man, I heard somebody say it, and I can't remember who. But tolerate doesn't mean encourage and we love it and we want more of it. It just means you tolerate it. You tolerate a baby crying on an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
You don't love it, but you tolerate it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Same thing. That, you don't need to like it. You don't need to agree with it. You might think, your investment strategy is to buy a ton of Solo cups, and you think that's investing in red Solo cups.
Yeah.
All right, well, I don't agree with that. I think that's pretty stupid, but I wish the best for you. I hope, you find use for those cups. But you don't need to agree with everything that somebody else says. We're all different, including, that's, even between people who are in the same party or vote the same or vote similar or work the same or look the same or even in the same families, they think radically different.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, love crosses all those boundaries.
Yeah.
That's why love should be the priority, not your party or the way you do something.
Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, I think we can just stay here. Like, I think we can close with this point here is just the fact that, what's going on in LA sucks. It sucks to see
it sucks to
destruction, and it sucks to see that we can't just talk about it. We can't,
especially something that's happening, I feel, in the continental U.S. It does seem, because we're separated by two oceans, that a lot of this stuff happens overseas or it happens so far away, and now it's in our backyard. It's at our Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. It just feels like people need to love more and then not put so much stipulations on that. Well, I do love. No, not the people who just think like you and who are nice to you. That's not what Jesus said. Jesus said you should love your enemies. If you greet only the people who greet you, the sinners and tax collectors do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
If you love only the people who love you, the pagans do the same thing. You're not any better than them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that's who we're trying to be like, is Christ. We're trying to be like Christ.
Yeah.
And we got to love our enemies.
Yeah, I think that I think it's a good point to say that is like, I think we should love first. Mm-hmm. The sense of like, we can believe differently, we can think differently, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you're a person.
Exactly.
And
we're all made in God's image.
Yeah, and as far as I think you're right. I think you're good, and I think that's true. Like, we are made in God's image, and we're children of God, and we should not be trying to look politically. And while it can be fun to have political conversations, and it can be, and I think those are good conversations to have. Debates and talk, and I think people learn and grow from those, and and develop, and I think those are good. But I think ultimately, at the end of the day, we should be able to walk away being, okay, I love you. You're a brother. You're a sister. You're a cousin. You're a neighbor. You're my family member. Whatever it may be, I know you. You're a friend. You should be able to walk away from those, okay. And things get so taboo. And I think part of it's because it's full of hatred. So you may be proposing your political stances, but you're doing it so hatefully.
Yes.
It's like, well, yeah, people are going to maybe not want you to work for them.
You're condemning people because they think this way. It's like, well, there's you don't know the whole story. You don't know why they think that. Maybe they've just been lied to their whole life. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're surrounded by people who think the same, so they think the same. And they've just not heard someone with an opposing viewpoint who wants to actually talk to them like they're a real person.
Yeah.
Nobody's mind has ever been changed by yelling at them.
Yeah.
If you scream at me, I'll listen, but I'm going to take it with a grain of salt because I can tell you're yelling at me. I'm not, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. Point of this one, I guess, says culture. It wasn't even real.
Well, a little bit, a little bit of culture, a little bit of ocean.
Yeah, ocean, a little bit of culture. I don't know. And the point of this episode is not even really to talk about the riots in LA or the protests in LA. It's to talk about the political division in the country and the world. It's just a lot that we don't need, and especially as Christians, people that are listening to this podcast.
Oh yeah,
we don't need that.
No.
We shouldn't encourage that because we're serving the kingdom. We're not we're not trying to serve the country or a president or we're here to.
And I need that reminder as much as anybody else. Yeah. It's like we're called to love our enemies. It's so easy to, have that righteous anger. So I'm in the right, he's in the wrong. Let's throw rocks at him. Let's stone him. No, that's wrong, right? You have to love your enemies, and you can still love somebody while still holding your values, still knowing what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of the differences we get so torn up about are just superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. So, let the differences down, love everybody.
I don't know that song.
It's not a song. I just
okay.
came up with it. No, I don't know. Yeah, just allow yourselves to be cordial with one another.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Go try to have a good, productive conversation with somebody you don't agree with this week, and we will see you next Sunday.